Yes, now is Eric Mandel, director of the Middle East Political Information Network. And Eric, first of all, it does seem like an uptick in violence. There are some reports from an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, that Hamas, which controls Gaza, may be preparing for some sort of war with Israel. This is according to Israeli defense agencies. What do you make of it?
I think that is accurate. I think Hamas would like to have a war, to start a war now, because that's their solution for the humanitarian crisis, which they're being blamed for. I think Abbas, the arch enemy in the West Bank, would like a war now to deflect attention from his incompetence, his corruption, and also the fact he's incredibly low popularity. He has been rounding up members of Hamas in the West Bank. He is threatening to cut the last $96 million that they give monthly to Hamas. The reconciliation talks have gone down.
So in other words, Abbas is basically taking money away from Hamas and at the same time saying, okay, now you've got to help me by launching a war against Israel.
Well, they're at cross purposes. Abbas has demanded that basically Hamas, if you want us to help you, you have to disarm. Hamas is obviously not going to disarm. So the reconciliation talks, another level that's going on here between Israel and Hamas that went on in August. Literally, Sinwar, the head of Hamas, had said on August 21st that the truce is right around the corner, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Abbas didn't like that he was being cut out. So that fell apart in 3 or 4 days after that. They withdrew from the ceasefire talks. So you have different groups playing against one another. You have Hamas and Israel. You have Abbas, the Palestinian Authority, and Hamas going at it. And then you have Sisi meeting this week with Bibi Netanyahu to try to bring back these sides, Hamas and Israel, back together. But again, you got to remember that Sisi despises the Muslim Brotherhood, which is just, and Hamas is just the child of the Muslim Brotherhood. So how much do they trust him? So you have many different players here.
And in terms of a military conflict, if it does happen between Hamas and Israel, I mean, this would be one-sided. This would be essentially a lot of bloodshed on the Palestinian side. Israel is well-equipped to battle Hamas in Gaza, as they have in the past.
So let's be clear. We are on the verge of a war right at this point of time. The question is not if, it is just when. Will the Palestinians suffer? Absolutely, because the Palestinians, Hamas has put its people very often in harm's way. This week in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, it was marked up for, I wanted to give you the exact name because it just came out, sanctions on terrorist use of human shields, specifically talking about Hamas, that on a bipartisan level, Republicans and Democrats pointing out that this mass march of return, which has gone from being a weekly event to now almost a nightly event, and that's the uptick that you're talking about, right, is about to go over to a real war. And a real war, the Palestinian people that have been used as pawns are going to suffer greatly.
Eric Mandel, director of the Middle East Political Information Network. And Eric, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
My pleasure.